Hello everyone, welcome to Compute 401 BFX team. We are the Better Find an Expert. So we have two repositories that I'll be going over in this screencast. Here's all the code for Better Find an Expert, and here's where we keep all our documentation. So underneath the wiki you'll see our wonderful team members, and if you go underneath to the very bottom, you can see documentation for client, and this is what I will be going over in the video. So this is what our current Find an Expert is. It's beautiful, loads fast. You can see all these awesome keywords, but the problem is that all these keywords are human typed. So a human had to manually go through and get all these keywords, and what we're trying to do is automate that. So I can click on William Allison, who's always a good example. And you can see how long it takes the page to load, and this is why it also takes us so long to scrape all the keywords. So we can start looking on this webpage, we can start scraping it for information, gathering keywords, and if we head over to Researcher ID, we can also scrape all of Researcher ID to get even more information. So like, for example, we've taken the titles of all the papers on here, and then the other thing we did as well was we were able to get the keywords directly from this site. You'll see me mention that in the later part of the video. We also get the description as well. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through our acceptance tests. So right now I'm just going on our server, and this is our very first, very lightweight UI, nothing too special. We also have batch mode, and if you're a little bit more tech savvy, you can look at Cabana as well. Make sure you just head over to the Discover tab, and from here you can search all sorts of information. What I'm going to be doing is just starting to go through all the user stories. So 1.01, as a user, I want my queries to be spell checked. We currently don't have this implemented, mostly because the UI was not really part of our deliverables. The client was okay with not having a very good UI, so we did not implement this. 1.02, as a user, I want multi-worded phrases handled as a single search, matching the phrase in its entirety, so concepts are grouped. This is a little iffy. So if I search geology processes, I get all these people. You can't really see, so what happens is their name pops up, their faculty ID, any links that we have on them, then their email, and also Earth and Atmospheric Sciences, so their department. You can't see any keywords in the individual search, but if you go over to batch mode, and I'm going to copy and paste this, you can search this. It does take a little while to load, unfortunately. So now we can go through and we can see all the keywords that we have pulled up for people, and as you can see, it's a lot. We worked on getting a lot of keywords in a lot of different ways. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to Control F for geology, and so as you can see, it does not handle things as a single search. Currently, that is how it's implemented, but it does get both of them, at least. Processes. Yes, so I did another search for Allison. What came up was Allison Palmer and William Allison. I didn't explain where our keywords were coming from in the last video. So 0 is our generic approach. It's the worst of all approaches, just because it does, lowest frequency words. Rake, we get a lot of keywords. Text rank, again, more keywords. TF-IDF. These are our three heavy algorithm based keyword generation. So you can see better descriptions of those on the wiki. And then we also have our freebie approach, which is just if web pages state certain freebies, then we will just grab those. So these are from different websites. Lexicon. This is where we have a dictionary of our own words, and if any of our own words match anything on the website, we'll just pull these out really quickly. Okay, so user story 1.03. As a user, I want to be able to write simple Boolean queries with one Boolean operator. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to do software. This is my favorite example just because it includes a bunch of computing science professors, but it also includes software that certain, biological science people use, right? So it's including other different types of software rather than regular software. But then if I search and computer, now I'm getting just strictly computing science people. Okay, so user story 1.04. As a user, I want to search and return all relevant faculty members plus their entire keyword set. So what I'm going to do is if I search computer on batch, and if I spell it right, again, it'll take a little bit to load, but I'm going to get, Vadim and all of his keywords, more keywords, Hayward, more keywords, things like this, and all of these people have computer in them, Hindle, things like that. I'm also going to do this on Cabana. Again, need to be a little bit more tech savvy, mostly because none of the indices are connected anymore. The API does all this for us. So if I want to, let's go Allison again. So right now I'm searching in the faculty, and of course William Allison. His faculty ID is 370. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into keywords, and I'm going to search for 370. Now as you can see, we have a bunch of entries here. So what I can do is to make it a little bit more reader friendly, I can add the approach ID and I can add what keywords were generated. So we can see from each of these different approaches what keywords were generated, and then I can also add the data source that they were found in. So right now on the research ID abstracts, we ran all of the algorithms, text rank, rake, TF-IDF, and these are what we generated. Things like that. So we can see that, we got the user keywords from the research ID page. We can see that majority of William Allison's text does come from the research ID abstract, which again is just on his research ID. What we did was we clicked all of these, and then we got the abstract from these pages. So like this. User story 1.05. As a user, I want keyword construction algorithms that incrementally consult and combine text available from different sources. So what you can do is you can go to our user manual. From the user manual, we can go and look through all 13 pages, and we can go down to the scraper and go to scraper sources. So currently we are scraping the profile, which is just, the general Faculty of Science page. We're also scraping Research ID, which we get the link from the profile. The Research ID abstracts is when we click all the links on the Research ID page. We have a Google Scholar as well, where we scrape the titles. And we have the insert grants. So this was, what we do is we just take a CSV, and we just get all the lay paragraphs from their grant applications. And then we were going to try to get OrcID as well, but it turns out that this pages are loading dynamically, so we needed to do Scrapey, and we didn't have time to do that. So this is everything listed here. If you also wanted to go to Cabana, you can see, if you go into document, you can see where we get all the sources from. So research IDs, abstract, the list goes on and on forever. So what you see in front of you is Postman. I'm going to be working on user story 1.06. As a user, I want keywords to update in the database as new information arrives. So the way we have it set up is that as soon as you post the faculty into our faculty index, it will start off a bunch of tasks using Celery to generate the new keywords. So all someone has to do to refresh the database and to get all new keywords for every professor is to post a JSON of all the professors, it does get quite long, to our server. And this will automatically kick off everything. So you do have to be a little bit tech savvy for this. The JSON is all in our documentation wiki, which is the Find an Expert wiki. So you just have to post to the server, to the faculty index, copy and paste the JSON into the body, and then you just send. And once you send, everything will be kicked off. You should see a response 200 saying that everything worked, and that's all you need to do. Okay, so now we're moving on to the admin user stories. So 2.01, as an admin, I want to be able to adjust professors' keywords and not have my information overwritten if the keyword construction algorithms are rerun on that professor. So currently this is not implemented. If you delete anything from Elasticsearch, on the next run it will just be generated again, and if you add anything, it will just be overwritten again, unfortunately. Okay, so user story 2.02. As an admin, I want to go in and add newly hired professors with whatever information is needed for the keyword construction algorithms to run. So basically, we're in Postman again. Again, we would just post to the faculty index. You would just include your new professor in the JSON, and that's all. Okay, user story 2.03. As an admin, I want the system to interface with the forum and extract professor information. So when we initially wrote this user story, we thought that the forum was this, and it was really easy to go in here and extract information. Like, again, I'm just using William Allison, so we can go in here and extract all this. From further talking with the client, we realized that either we didn't know what the forum was, or we didn't have forum credentials. So this was a bad user story on our part, just because there was a little bit of ambiguity, but we did end up extracting all the information that the client wanted. Okay, so I'm going to handle the last three user stories on the same. So 2.04, as an admin, I want multiple keyword generation algorithms that are run separately so you can evaluate them and choose the best. 2.05, as admin, I want to enter a keyword generation algorithm pair in batch mode that returns a set of professors and keywords for that keyword generation algorithm. And 2.06, as an admin, I want to save the results of this into a JSON file. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up this just so you can see what I'm typing a little bit better. So I go into the server, I go into batch, and then I do a search query. You have to be a little tech savvy. Unfortunately, we do not have a UI for this yet. So I want to search evolutionary process, and I want to see approach 2 only. So if I take this and I paste it into here, currently it looks like it did a little bit of nothing. But what it did is it downloaded a text file with the JSON in it. So now you can see approach ID 2, and see what words this gathered.